Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Johnny's Scrims. I am back once again, and today I'm with King Raptor here from Yoinkers.
Yeah, this is gonna be my first time casting here, so I'm pretty excited. First time casting in English as well. I'm usually more around in the German scene, but yeah, I hope we're in for a good match today. Renai versus ReVamp, the two newbies this season. So
I mean,
yeah,
we do say they're newbies, but I mean, definitely Revamp at least have been very much holding their own in a few of their games. Unfortunately, did get 3-0'd a couple of times, but I mean, in their first game against Jamiul, they took it to 6 maps. So just because they're new doesn't mean that they're not here to try and win this thing.
I mean if you're not trying to win, then there's definitely something wrong. So I
True.
hope we get a good match today. Maybe 6 maps.
Oh, I
Would
don't
be a
know if I
long
want
day.
6, but definitely want more than 3. We did see more than 3 yesterday with Jamil actually upsetting the leaderboard here and taking down Yoinkers yesterday in a 3-1.
Yeah, they did a really good showing yesterday. I mean, I must know. I was there. Um, so Jam Yule, definitely a good showing yesterday. Let's see what they still can do in the rest of the season. But yeah, I'm looking forward to today seeing first map Busan actually. Haven't seen that in a while personally. So yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of room for different comms. Maybe some brawl on mecha base, some dive on downtown,
Some
and
rush, I would
maybe
say
even some
then.
double shield.
Or some
Yeah,
rush on
rush as well.
Sanctum as well. We've seen quite a lot of like a Ball Sigma, Ball Hog, or even going the Monkey Diva route um, on Sanctum quite a lot. So I'm interested to see what these two teams have in store for us as we get things underway, which I believe
And
we're
we're
just
still waiting for a couple of
waiting.
players to get ready or to return to the keyboards. Well, what do you expect? What do you think is the best comp of revamp, for example?
Oof. Honestly, I'm not too sure. Um, every team has been showing that they're at least somewhat versatile. Um, if I remember correctly, Revamp played quite well with their double bubble last week. Um, it looks like we are getting readies in,
That's good. Yeah, double bubble has been
which has
almost meta, I would say. The last couple of
been
weeks
pretty
has
much
been.
meta, and it's one of my favorite comps to watch. Especially as a Winston main myself. Watching those monkeys, see how they play up against each other and how they're able to take and hold space
Now traveling to Busan.
is, for me at least, very, very interesting.
Initiating match.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially since Winston hasn't been on the strong side in the months before. We saw a lot of Orisa, some Ryan, and some Russian brawl comms, and Winston being able to take a more central spot in a team comp is actually quite nice to see. And yeah, now we got the Orisa changes recently, making her a lot stronger than she was before, bringing her a bit
Hmm.
back. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more room now again for some variation. We're gonna start off here on the rush though. Hyperlazy and Benetton here with Zarya and McCree is gonna be definitely interesting to see what they can do. And yeah, we have a difference in the team comps though. We have a Junkrat on the one side and a Zen on the other side. I don't know if the Zen synergizes that well, but now they switch Sleepy onto the Lucio.
Yeah.
And let's see what they can do here in this almost mirror matchup.
As you said, the only difference in this matchup right now is Pixel Rory's on that Mei, whereas Mr. X is on the Junkrat. Junkrat, of course, providing a lot more damage, but Mei, with those walls, able to separate out the team as already the cut falls. JC's getting a nice fire strike there, and as well with the Immortality Field coming out early from the side of Revamp, it enables Renai Crew just pushing it here a little bit more aggressive. Still only the cut being the only kill so far, but a nice Maywall does separate that Ryan Waifu away from his team, and looks like he's actually going to be able to get a pin off, but the flashbang is there. Really, really nice save from Benton as Waifu does fall, followed by Flappy as well as Mr. X. A really
Yeah,
nice flashbang there, Raptor.
yeah, and a really nice Maywolf from Pixel Rory here, splitting off the main tank. When they already had the upper hand, they had forced out the lamp, and the early pick on the McCree allowed them to go much more aggressive there. So yeah, nice dominant first fight, and the ult advantage now there. The window instantly popped, and yeah, they're holding the right side, but instant rotation to the left.
Unfortunately, that Maywall was a little bit too early, not quite able to catch anyone off guard, and a nice rotation comes out from the side of Revamp here. do get the drop onto most of Renai, but the shatter is coming out from JC's there, but Mr. X retaliates with that massive 3-man tire. And is
And
able to
there
take
we
out.
see the difference. There we see the difference in the team comp. The Mei carried the first fight and the second fight carried by the Junkrat with that early ult. Through this spam damage, she was already ready to build up that tire. Second fight, Mr. X. Definitely a really nice ultimate. And now it comes down, I think, in the next fight, who's going to land the better graph or who's going to get up that beat.
Both sides getting to that grab. First coming out from iMustache. It is pretty big, but a nice Mei walk out of Pixel Rory. Does deny most of that damage. Immortality Field does fall for Renai Crew here, but that's all. That's about it. As now the Mei ult as well as the grab coming out from the opposite side, but it's not going to be enough as the shatter does come out from Waifu. Does knock down a lot of people, but the follow-up damage comes from iMustache and Mr. X mostly. And they do find 3 picks for themselves. It looks like this fight is going to be another win for ReVamp here.
And actually a prolonged fight. We first saw the graph from iMustache not really getting any value beside the immortality, and Hyper Lazy didn't got punished on his flank. Managed to get in a nice grab, but the counter ults were, yeah, massive. Shatter bringing them all to the ground. Enough damage there to finish them off. So no follow for the graph. Now the window, the Fire Strike doesn't find anything there. High Noon is following up. They're pushing forward with the speed boost. Nothing achieved with the High Noon. They're falling back to point. 58% only, so there's still room for a long fight. Charge doesn't find anything. Next tire coming in.
Another tire though from Mr. X, going for the backline, but not sure if he's going to be able to find anyone, as we do see Benton looking for it. The beat there as well, but Benton does fall. High Noon coming out as well from the cut. Unfortunately, not able to find anybody. It's a pretty scrappy fight so far. I believe though ReVamp are 1 up, as Hyper Lazy does push forward, gets taken out by iMustache. The heal is there from Bert Kang to keep iMustache alive there, as he's able to push on and get another pick for himself. It looks like a bit of miscommunication here as J Caesar does come in for the recontest, but Pixel Rory and don't even know how to say that BAP's name, decide to reset and jump off the map.
Yeah, I mean they have to. They have only 1 fight left. Potentially, if somebody can touch even. It's a really nice hold here. They're dropping down now. Maybe nobody can touch. Sleepy on the point now with the Lucio.
Going over on that Lucio on this flank, but the grab on Surge as well, that window to stop everyone else from touching the point. The shatter is there. It is big, but it's not big enough, and unfortunately only Pixel Rory survives that grab, as he's able to touch point along with Lucio, but his Lucio falls shortly after, as does he, even with the blizzard there. And unfortunately his team are not going to be able to contest that point, and first round goes to ReVamp.
Yeah, and you just gotta say they got a little bit more value from the ultimates than Renai Crew, especially with the grab was really. I don't want to say unlucky because it was just a really nice shatter from Waifu, but yeah, nice grab from Hyper Lazy there, and I think that was the turning point. They invested the grab, they invested the Mei ult, and with the shatter, ReVamp was able to counter that and turn the ult economy around in their favor, and with that they just managed to keep on holding to the point and got a deserved first point on Busan. And yeah, we talked about it. We now see here actually both what we talked about, some double shield on the side of ReVamp and some Hammond, more divey comp with the Sigma on the side of Renai Crew. So interesting to see those 2 styles clash now.
Do you see Renai are taking a more split approach, looking to flank around and get behind the side of ReVamp, who are just taking over this right hand side room at this bongo. And just looking for a lot of poke damage here with this Arista, trying to farm up Bongo, and the first pick does come through from Mr. X onto Benton in the backlines of Renai Crew, and it looks like now the rotation's going to start coming through as ReVamp going to start pushing towards the point slowly. iMustache heading over there first with the Lucio and Flappy, as the cut finds J Caesar, went in a little bit too deep, a little bit too early with his team not being able to follow up. That's a very quick first cap for ReVamp.
Yeah, and I think Renekton need to do some adaptations. Sleepy here on the Brigitte is not gonna get much value. You don't want to go into Brawl with the Sigma and the Ball. And yes, the health packs are really good for the Tracer, but I don't know. It's not gonna bring that much value to just stick
once again
to the Brig.
Mr. X finding the first pick onto Benton, this time with a headshot. As Mr. X definitely putting his team a little bit on his back here, finding these early picks quite consistently. He's looking for more now, trying to find Hyper Lazy on that Sigma, but the kinetic grasp is there, as well as the heals from that Ana as well. As Sleepy falls next, iMustache pushing forward with the Reinhardt as well, finding 2 more for themselves, and Pixel Rory and JCs are both falling to Waifu. Now it's just a very hard push for the side of Mr. X, just to push forward and find Hyper Lazy as well. It's a bit more of a dominating performance. Then
Yeah,
last
that
map.
was a really nice push. Really nice push from ReVamp. They perfectly timed their moment of engaging. They just W'd into them when they knew they had the advantage cooldown wise. And now they have a really nice ult economy. 5 ults ready, the 6th on the go. On the other side, also a lot of ults almost ready, but not quite yet. So this is gonna be an ult fiesta next fight. We got it ball on point now,
Looks like
touching and forcing them to contest.
ReVamp. We're probably going to use their ults early here so they don't get caught out by Renai Crew's ults. But looks like the first 2 ults coming out from Renai Crew, the nano boost onto Hyper Lazy on that Sigma, but here comes the retaliation, the Shatter, as well as the Dragon and High Noon all come out from the side of ReVamp, and it is up to team wipe, but I would argue almost too much.
I mean, they still have 3 ultimates, so I guess it's fine. They only need to win 1 more fight. I think that's a decent investment. I just don't think it was worth sticking to the comp Renai Crew was coming out of spawn initially. They should have stopped some things. They touch again with the ball, but it's not gonna bring that much. Waifu just
Pulsum
chilling
comes
there
out.
instead of the point.
Nice mortality there to keep players alive on the side of Renai Crew here, or on ReVamp there, as now Benton does push in with the High Noon, trying to make a bit of space. Can't quite find any picks though, as Waifu just contesting the point, not allowing the point to turn over for the opposition, as Hyper Lazy does fall first, and Waifu pushing very, very aggressive here. Might get punished for it as he has been antied, and he's getting slapped around by that Brigida as well with the rally up, but unfortunately no one's able to touch the point, and it looks like ReVamp take map 1 for themselves.
Whew, and that was a quite a dominant showing here in the second part of the map. Very well played, and I really miss those adaptations from Renai Crew, and I hope they're gonna come in the next during the next maps. We see Mr. X now again with the tire, I suppose. No?
Yeah, tire play again
Actually,
probably. It's not actually. This is some nice peel actually, as the team gets shattered in, and is the tire
yeah, there
coming
is the
in,
tire.
finding 3. Well played by both teams. I think first map, I think probably should have gone to Renai Crew. They had some times where they had the ult advantage by pure numbers, but they invested them slightly too early. In my opinion, I do like the aggression and trying to use the ults early on, but I think they invested slightly too early and ended up wasting their ultimates a couple of times. And then Revamp just having a little bit more control over their queue, and then just a better team comp, simply put, I suppose, for that second point as well. Able to claim that map for themselves.
Yeah, second part of the map was not so good for Renai Crew, let's say it like that. If we want to compare some stats, we can say that Revamp got actually 39 final blows this map compared to Renai Crew with 7. Got to
Wow.
step up the game there a bit. So, yeah. And next map is going to be Eichenwalde.
Ooh, a proper
Interesting
German
map.
pronunciation. I like it.
Yeah, I can do the Eichenwalde.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the map personally. I generally like most of the hybrid maps.
Yeah.
Just Numbani maybe not so much, but yeah, Eichenwald a nice map. You get some room for double shield at first, basically.
Ooh.
At first point, and then second point you can opt more for a double bubble or even a dive style. And
Well, the thing about first
yeah,
point as well is you don't have to double shield it. You can run it with a brawl. You can run it with a rush comp. You can run a double bubble. You can run. Eichenwald is one of those maps where pretty much apart from second point, you can run any comp. I do think second point, especially on the attack side, you do need to run some form of a dive-ish type of hybrid comp, something like double bubble, or like even a ball sigma can work, or a full-on dive with either ball or monkey with a diva, with either like a Pharah or an Echo or something like that to try pressure that high ground,
yeah.
because it's otherwise it's very hard to push. Of course, just getting spammed from the high ground means you can't really survive. The damage in this game is way too much for just 2 people to out heal. Um, but yeah, Iconval are definitely a very diverse map, shall we say.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree that it's all about the high ground there contesting it because it's such a high ground, you know what I mean? I mean, it's
Yeah,
in the name high ground, but the one on Eichenwald is especially high. But seems like we have a bit of a hiccup here. We're gonna not go to hybrid, we're gonna go actually to escort, and it's gonna be Route 66 instead of Eichenwalde. So everything we just talked basically
that
for naught.
save that for
But
a
yeah.
later date. But a lot of it still does apply to Route 66, I believe. Once again, the main high ground and main like kind of dive-ish play will come in second point on Route 66, whereas first point is once again a very, very versatile point. Um, Personally, I do like to see a lot of double bubble, but on defense, especially, you know, pirate shipping up or bunkering up on that high ground on top of big earls is another very, very strong way to play this map.
True, definitely. You do be seeing the Orisa quite often here, just standing at the edge of the gas station, contesting the point because you can stay up there. That's a bit broken in my opinion. That you can just stay up there and chill with
Yeah.
Orisa or any other tank and still contest the payload. So if you're playing it smart, you can get a lot of time off the clock there, and you force the enemy to really start contesting the high ground and not get any meters for free. So yeah, we gotta swap the sides now. Renai crew is gonna be defending first. ReVamp chose to attack. Yeah, we got the ready already from ReVamp Renai crew, giving us also the ready so we can start up and move into the hunting grounds of a younger Ash and McCree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Initiating match.
gonna be definitely interesting to see. I feel like always control is a bit of a like King of the Hill is a bit of a weird map type. You can have a lot of hiccups there. You see even the best teams in Overwatch League sometimes can be dominant on all other map types but struggle on control
Yeah.
because yeah, it just feels weird sometimes.
It's a very
So
control I find is a very different playstyle compared to almost everything else in this game, apart from maybe 2CP, which is just different again, and no one likes it. But Escort, generally teams are able to practice it a little bit better, and it's often a lot more polished, which I hope to see coming out of both sides here. Both sides are looking to run that double bubble comp, I believe, with a interesting Symmetra and Bastion pick from this attacking side. I wonder if that'll stick. Looks like it won't.
I mean, I was about to say I hope so, but we already see Mr. X swapping over to the Echo. Echo has been really a high presence in the last weeks in the game, especially on this map with the Tracer and the Bubble coming out both sides now in almost mirror matchup. Benetton on the Ash, I think a bit of a better pick here, can contest the Echo a bit better and be a threat for the Tracer because of the one-shot potential. So let's see how this is going.
Not only that, Ash, there's also a lot more
Yeah.
healing on the side of Renai crew here with that Ana as well over the running the Mercy on this defensive side, which should help quite a lot as the double bubble now. The dive does come through, but it looks like that main tank's on his own. Waifu probably going to fall here, already falling quite low. Lucky to be able to escape with his life, in my opinion, as we do see JCs jumping back to his team and back into the fight again, into the front line with the help of Pixel Rory as well, as a lot of the side of ReVamp are falling very, very low health here. Some nice positioning as well.
Waifu constantly under half HP here, getting pressured a lot now, falling to hyper lazy.
The resurrect is there. The bubble is nice to keep that Flappy alive, but the positioning for Waifu is quite dangerous here. He's going to have to play really careful, as we did see an early bubble coming out, which means he doesn't have it now when he pushes in. He jumps in, he gets his bubble from his Zarya, but he doesn't have any healing or protection for himself. He has taken out the Ana finding the final blow there, as now Jay Caesar gets to rule over the point as the only main tank alive. Able to peel for his team there. Eye Mustache almost finding hyper lazy. Can't quite find the kill as Pixel Rory takes out Mr. X in the skies. The cut looking for the kill onto Benton. Can't quite find it, I don't think. Nice peel out of Pixel Rory as Jay Caesar and hyper lazy just clean up the low ground fight.
And ReVamp is here not on the same page. We saw Waifu jumping the Ash on the gas station while the Ana is uncontested in the backline, then gets dived by this CC cut. But he can't do anything alone. Yeah, he can't do anything alone against the break and the Ana. So yeah, so they need to coordinate the dives on the Ana a bit better, I think. If they can take out the Ana, they're lacking a lot of utility on the side of.
A nice grab on Surge coming out early on there from Hyper Lazy. I must actually be able to take himself out with those right clicks, as the rest of that grab is kind of cleaned up by Hyper Lazy himself, and already 2 early picks, and it looks like Waifu's going to fall as well. Pixel Rory with that beam, able to find that extra pick. I did see a nice rotation coming out from the side of ReVamp there, but Renai crew able to spot it, and Hyper Lazy getting that grab was, I think, a really, really good play to end that fight and shut it down really, really early on.
Interestingly enough, they swap out the brick now for an Ana as well on the side of ReVamp. Want to have some of that utility as well. The Anti and the Sleep are just really powerful abilities. An early rally now on the side of Renai crew, and they're going to push in with that a bit. At least take the tunnel, now falling back and just kind of keeping them at bay for now.
Yeah, that Mercy pick definitely going to help Mr. X up in the aerial battles against Pixel Rory, who might start to struggle a little bit more here. But not afraid. He's able to push in here. The Graviton Surge is there from the side of Renai crew, or from ReVamp, I mean. Able to find one pick onto Hyper Lazy, but Bob gets the trade, finds Waifu before falling himself. But now the copy is there from Mr. X, does copy the Winston, looking to try and get those supports, diving with his other Winston, as looks like both supports are about to fall. Sleepy falling first, and now the Primal coming out from Mr. X, looking to find, I don't even know again, that Ana, trying to find that kill, does find it eventually. As it looks like ReVamp are finally getting some traction here and finally getting the kills they need to start pushing this payload properly. Waifu deciding to use that Primal very, very late in the fight. I would argue not quite necessary.
But they finally did what they needed to do, and they teamed up together on the Ana and the Break, dived them with the double monkey and the Echo. So they were able to take down the supports, and yeah, with the lacking utility when the Ana is dead, no more anti-nade, a lot of healing gun, and no more sleep dart, it's quite easy for them to actually win the fight. I mean, yeah, they just put a bit too much priority, in my opinion, on the Ashe, diving here a lot of times with one character, or at least not as a team, on the gas station, and they did that way better now in the last fight.
The cut,
they were able to
pick
take
here
first point.
Rory as well, as Benton does trade for Mr. X. Both teams, it's a 5v5 right now, but a nice pulse one finds Hyper Lazy there. The stick was on that bubble, and unfortunately Hyper Lazy not able to get away from it on time, is now the cut pushing that Ashe, trying to find a pick. I think this fight boils down to the fact that ReVamp or Renai crew pushed really, really far forward and actually lost 2 or 3 people before the team fight even started, trying to recontest first point, and ended up not having their full team properly set up for this next fight this first fight onto second point.
Yeah, ReVamp now in a really good position to make the final meters to the second point. They got the high ground under control, and yeah, Renai crew forced to go out through the small choke there and boost on the Winston pretty early. Now on the payload, taking some space.
Roy from the first pick actually onto Flappy with a bit of help from that Nano boosted Monkey and J Caesar. Waifu though finds a Nano on his own back as well, finding the Ana on the opposite side. Mr. X as well, finding Pixel Rory, as well as J Caesar falling to Mr. X. As once again, that Winston Waifu does try to retake that high ground. The Bob does come out from Benton, but it's not going to be able to find anything, as the copy as well comes out from the side of Mr. X. The Graviton Surge there to shut it down. Looks like Mr. X somehow alive still, even with that copied break. Able to pop a rally and able to... I don't know how he survived that grav, to be honest. A nice nade coming out from that Ana, but it's not going to be enough as well with that Graviton Surge from iMustache, keeping everyone up on the high ground, forcing out the Primal, and even getting the kills. Very well played there from iMustache.
Yeah, big investment here from ReVamp to get the point. They got it in the end, so it was worth it. And on the other side, I don't think the Monkey is that big of an ultimate to invest here still. Maybe they could have still contested it with it. Yeah, but it's gonna come down now to the next fight. Not many ults available, so who's gonna execute their team comp better? We still see the slight differences with the Mercy and the Break. The Ana has been actually a deciding factor here for ReVamp. Since they switched to it, they've been a lot better. And I think they can keep it on. Nice antenna on both supports here. Renai crew under pressure.
Looks like the cut looking to try to get that follow up. He does throw in the pulse on, but Sleepy's there with the shield to stop it from getting any real value. As now the copy as well comes out from the side of Pixel Roy there. Is taken out though, but made a little bit of space for his team. Able to push forward with J Caesar, who's looking for some more kills here. But that Mercy pocket onto iMustache is just too dangerous to try and deal with for a Winston, as he does fall. Mr. X final blow there, and now pushing onto Benton on the high ground as iMustache takes out Pixel Roy on the payload and is pushing forward. iMustache is really, really high charge here, looking for some more kills. Does find Sleepy as well. The Nano boost comes out from Ash, but unfortunately not able to find any kills with this iMustache with this high charge, just burning people at the moment.
Ooh, and the sleep and anti here from SHG fan actually forcing out the Nano from Mr. X, and they get a pick even on Flappy. Nicely done here, but they still need to contest the point now. But Monkey is there to contest the point. Big anti again. The Bob finding one pick and the DMAC.
iMustache with the Nano here, still absolutely burning people. He's going insane right now. The sleep is there, but Bob's going to insta-wake that, as you can't control who Bob shoots at. Finally looks like the fight is going to end. iMustache finally getting taken out. But definitely a very tough fight there for the side of Renai crew up against iMustache. And as I said, high charge absolutely melting people.
Yeah, and now we have Hyper Lazy with that graph for the last fight ready. Zarya is gonna be definitely a big factor here, but iMustache is far away from their own Graviton Surge. Maybe should switch here to a D.Va to have that clutch potential to eat the graph. He's not gonna do it though, so...
Instead, Waifu switching over to the Reinhardt to play along with iMustache's Zarya a little bit better, which I said he doesn't have an ult available, but he has been playing really, really well as they do engage his fight with the Valkyrie to try and keep people alive and engage it with a little bit more damage. But the Graviton Surge out of Hyper Lazy does find Barret Kank as well as Mr. X falling. iMustache falling next to Jay Caesar as Flappy does get the res onto Barret Kank, but that means there's no healing for the Cut, who also fell, and now looks like the pocket is onto the Reinhardt, but it's not going to be enough. Both supports now just try to keep each other alive and themselves alive as well, but Pixel Rory says no as he takes them both out. Now Mr. X just going to Doomfist here to get that stagger as well as iMustache on Wrecking Ball, but they're just dying as soon as they get to the payload pretty much. And look like this is going to be a win fight from Renai crew.
Yeah, very well done here. They pushed it still 69 meters, so...
I mean, almost 69.69, that would have been perfect, but unfortunately, so close but yet so far away. Just 0.2 meters off the perfect number.
Yeah, and I really like what I saw here from Renai crew. They definitely, yeah, improved and showed us a better performance
Yeah,
on the first.
once they switch over onto that and had a bit more healing available for that Winston to be able to push, and also that Zarya, of course, to be able to push a little bit more aggressively, they're able to kind of steamroll, especially over second point and much of third. Unfortunately, getting stopped before the finish line, but definitely that was not a bad push at all, and they're still in this fight to, or this in this map to win it.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, definitely. Now it's let's see what is there any big differences now in defense? That's the question. We see Flappy still on that Mercy. I expect Sleepy to go on the break again.
I think
So
the
not many
defensive comp
switches,
here
I think.
looking pretty much the same. The Cut still yet to decide on a hero, but on the opposite side, we do see Jay Caesar running with that Wrecking Ball instead of going that Winston, which is a very, very interesting pick, especially on this map where it's not as easy to get onto that high ground from unless you go down some very direct routes, which you can just get spammed out as Wrecking Ball and killed pretty easily. So I'm going to be very interested to see what rotation he decides to use to try and dislodge the side of ReVamp off the high ground. As he does, looks like he's going up through the upper cave, finds Waifu up there, decides to back down and do a little bit of scouting for his team. Looks like he's pushing in underneath the gas station. As we do see the Pharah coming out from Pixel Rory as well. Going to be a challenge for him up against the Echo on the side of ReVamp. As we do see Jay Caesar pushing in. He does dislodge some of the side of Renai crew off the high ground. Looking for some picks, or dislodged ReVamp off the high ground, I should say. Look, goes back in again with the bubble. Unfortunately, he can't quite find the damage there to find any picks.
The Dynamite now hitting 3, burning them, and now the boot on the high ground. Everybody's down, and now they can take the high ground themselves. Hyper Lazy up there with the high charge, forcing them into the gas station. 4 or 5 picks, and this is should already be the first point, actually.
Very nice rollout there from Jay Caesar, able to get 3 people off the high ground straight away, and his team had nice follow-up, being able to push in very, very aggressively and find those kills. As well as we did see Jay Caesar body blocking that Ana up on top of that mega health pack, and able not letting her escape, and able to find that kill as well.
Yeah, and I actually like the Pharah pick, even though it's usually a bit weak against the Echo. The main difference here is that the Echo can't really play that freely, because Benton on the Ashe can just easily poke him or shoot him down. So he has to play a bit more defensive so he doesn't go for open sidelines, and that gives Pixel Rory a lot more space, and there's almost no threat for him because only the Ana can maybe shoot at him.
Barrage coming in here, not able to find anyone, and the bubbles are there for both the tanks and then the sleep dart as well. Pixel Rory not able to find anything with that barrage as both Anas come out this time, but unfortunately that Mercy being able to take that barrage away from the Pharah, I believe was aimed for, as SHG fan not able to get what he wanted out of that Ana boost.
That was a really nice try there, but nice catch from the Mercy, you could say. Still both Reses coming in, so they want to continue the fight here on both sides. Not team currently giving up, but now it is Renai crew that has to fall back. With a nice exit frag though from SHG fan, taking out the Tracer, no res available. She's gonna be back faster, so no big loss for ReVamp.
We do see the Pulse Bomb Grav combo is available right now for the side of ReVamp, which I'm going to assume they wanted to use it early, but with that pick onto the Cut means they're going to have to wait a little bit longer, give a little bit more space up for the side of Renai crew, who are absolutely taking advantage right now with Jay Caesar pushing it really, really aggressive on that Wrecking Ball, and iMustache falling very, very low. He's going to need a bit of a pocket here just to stay alive to use this Graviton, as he's now looking for some targets. Looks like he wants to just throw it onto the payload. Does find both the tanks here, able to take out Hyper Lazy with a nice anti-nade as well from his Ana, hitting the Wrecking Ball. As we do see as well, the Primal Rage coming out of Waifu does find those supports as well. A nice clean fight from the side of ReVamp. Playing very, very well to just play a little bit more passive, wait for the cut to get back, and then kind of roll over the side of Renai crew.
Yeah, really well done. And Benetton's maybe gonna regret using his Bob here. Not a good. It would have been a good engage tool in this next fight. Not available right now, but we do be seeing the barrage again, and also the graph, and then Nano should be ready any second. Now they're ready, so potential for a big combo here. Let's
The
see.
Gremlin Surge coming out
Graph coming
first, and
in.
here comes the barrage. Does find two, and there's a big two as well. Finding iMustache and Barrett Kank, but the trades are there. Mr. X and Waifu finding two, and the Resurrect as well coming out from Flappy. Finds Barrett Kank back up in action with the Nano Boost as well available as it goes onto the cut here. Gonna want to look for a Pulse Bomb, probably onto Hyper Lazy. But he gets slept actually. Very, very nice sleep by SGH fan. As we do see Sleepy
Ooh.
taking out the Glock, finding Flappy as well as getting the rest into Hyper Lazy.
Yeah, actually, nice kill here and nice resurrection there. There comes the copy in from Mr. X. They need to commit this to this fight to still maybe win it. He's gonna be out of his copy though, thanks to the minefield on the point, taking a lot of space here, and Hyper Lazy still with the high charge near the point, taking out more and more of the enemy players. A lot of damage done. Already 45% on the grab again, and now they're nearing the second point. Still,
this
a
monkey
few
mercenary
players
gets
from Real
staggered here.
close.
Yeah, Flappy does fall, which means once again the recontest will be slow coming out from the side of ReVamp if they can even make it. Looks like they're going to just try and reset, get ready for second point. Must say, iMustache there did a nice job pressuring the DPS on the side of Renai crew. Did find a kill onto Pixel Rory. Unfortunately, couldn't quite find Benton, but falls down into the mines from Jay Caesar as well. Not able to find the kills, but now they're pushing in once again. iMustache falling very, very low. Nice bit of play from Jay Caesar. Finds Mr. X as well. Getting a lot of charge for Hyper Lazy with those bubbles as well. Who's, despite that bit of downtime between fights, still above 60 charges. Benton finds a nice pick as well onto the cut. Trying to blink across, get into the enemy backline. As now both teams are trying to set up once again.
Yeah, and Renai crew now in a good spot here. We saw a switch there from Mr. X off the Echo onto the Sombra, trying to play around the health packs maybe here and around the utility to take a bit better care of the ball who's going in now. Slam with the bubble, not being able to hack.
Monkey putting a lot of pressure there onto this DPS lineup of the side of Renai crew here, as well as the cut on the Tracer. Not get those final blows. Does find Pixel Roy with the nano, or the Grafton Surge, I should say, does come out from Hyper Lazy, and now the trade with the nano boost as well. iMustache looking to get those kills. Might not be able to find them though, as he has three people right on top of him. He's just spamming those right clicks and melees, and unfortunately not enough damage to actually find any kills at all. Apart from Sleepy does fall to Barrett Kank on the Ana, as well as the Primal Rage coming out from Waifu. Looking for more picks with Benton, finds Barrett Kank as well. A lot of trades back and forth here, as you do see Pixel Rory looking for that Winston in his backline. But is actually going to get taken out by the cut, who finds a pulse bomb as well onto Jay Caesar, who gets taken out eventually by Mr. X. Mr. X on the Sombra pick does find two picks onto both tanks. Pixel Rory struggling to get out of here alive, does have the copy available though.
Oh my god, and
was
Mr.
messy.
X, you're really bullying the Hammond. Hacked him, I think, 3 times there on the side. First when he was nanoed, then afterwards again. And nothing to do here for JC's RP. That's kind of how it is to play ball against Sombra. It's really hard to dodge the hacks in most situations. So maybe they're gonna have to switch it here for the last point, especially since maybe Ryan and Winston are a bit stronger here, I would say at least. They do be having almost a minefield ready, so they're gonna probably stay. But the
nice
EMP
coming out from Mr. X does find Jay Caesar and Pixel Rory. Pixel Rory, of course, falling very, very quickly with no escape abilities available. Unfortunately, Jay Caesar does manage to live, as this fight's breaking out to a bit of a mad brawl. We do see Waifu pushing in very, very aggressive here. Might actually get punished for that, as it looks like he will. A very, very high charge Hyper Lazy, as well as SGH fan, or SHG fan, able to find that kill. Now the Grav minefield coming out as well from Renai crew. Does find Flappy, looking for iMustache as well. Does get the DMAC, and there's the final blow. The cut, just trying to stall point for a little bit longer. Mr. X as well coming back in. Invis as that Sombra, as that Monkey goes to contest with a nano boost from Barrett Kank. Might not be able to find any kills here, as Barrett Kank did bite the dust, so there's no heals for the side of ReVamp here. As now it's just a rallying break, touching point, along with the Primaling Winston. But unfortunately no kills coming through from either side, as now the raid boss is being set up. Sleepy with the nano boost, looking to get a bit of work done here on the payload, as SGH fan is struggling to stay alive against that Winston, who does have to fall out eventually, thanks to a bit of heal from the rest of the side of the team, as Bob from Benton finds Flappy. This is a very, very messy fight on point, both sides just giving it all they've got, but the only kills coming through are coming from the side of Renai crew, finding Waifu now as well. iMustache falling and Mr. X very, very shortly after. It's just Flappy here contesting on point, and the cut jumps in as Tracer trying to contest for a little bit longer and not able to do enough. And it looks like Renai Crew taking this map 1-1 so far.
The ReVamp really did a nice contesting there, but there was too much time left in the time bank of Renai Crew, so in the end they were able to cap it. Deserved as well, much better showing than first map, so yeah, it's 1-1 now, and yeah, your 6th map's nightmare might become true tonight. I don't want to say stuff too early, but it looks like at least a really good match so far, I think, and a balanced one as well.
Yeah, it looks really, really even so far. Both teams definitely giving it their all. You know, Busan did look quite close, especially on that first map. And once again, Route 6 looking very, very close. Both sides doing quite well. Unfortunately, ReVamp not quite able to hang on to that defense at the very, very end there. Kind of fell apart as it just became a bit of a stall brawl. And Renai Crew able to take this map for themselves.
Yeah, and what I think is important to say here, I felt like ReVamp did faster adaptations and made this a close map. While Renai Crew, they just had a team comp that worked pretty well for them. So I'm looking next map maybe if ReVamp has a better team comp. And Renai Crew has to do some adaptations if they're going to be able to do them this time.
Definitely.
Because they did not have to do them on route, and on second part of Busan when they had to do them, they didn't. So this is going to be definitely an interesting fact.
Renai Crew seem to just have team comps that they like and they've practiced, and they kind of just want to stick to them. Which, as we saw, as you said as well, on second point, Busan especially, they just didn't make any adaptations, and they were playing into a comp that kind of hard countered them and weren't able to get any real traction and kind of got steamrolled. And this time around on route, they looked very, very good for their entire attack, but they did lose a few fights simply due to some hero swap ups on the side of ReVamp, especially like Mr. X switching over onto that Sombra towards the end, won 2 team fights in a row for them.
Yeah, really nice adaptation. Like I said, I liked it a lot from ReVamp. How they are able to kind of read, even if it took them a bit, but they read what they needed to do out of the enemy team comp and were able to adapt well enough to it. So let's see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, as we're heading on now to Kingsrow, I believe.
Oh, yes, finally.
What a map. Very, very brawl heavy map. But with that said, you know, especially first point defense, I would say, could be run with a double shield. The attack can be double bubble. I think both those comps work very, very well for definitely first point attack. Open up in Streets phase, which is definitely, I just think,
Well, why
the
not
ultimate
goats?
Rhine Zarya brawl is Streets phase Kingsrow.
True.
I mean,
do
I might be
missing
biased as a
goats.
Rhine main, but I mean, I just think that's the ultimate brawl map, is especially Streets phase on Kingsrow.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm a Widow main, so yeah. I do be missing goats here a bit. Back in the days when goats was meta, I was actually also a Rhine main, so I quite enjoyed playing goats on this map. Was quite fun.
Looks like we will be seeing that Rhine Zarya comp, at least on the defensive side here, as Waifu as well as iMustache looking to run that comp. But a really, really strange comp, once again, coming out from Renai Crew with the Wrecking Ball and Pixelrory on the Bastion, but once again, I don't think that's going to stick.
I mean, I have actually seen Bastion in attack here, but usually
Normally
it's
with
a
the
Symmetra.
Symmetra. Yeah.
Yeah, you TP on the head of that Omnix statue, and then you make bullets rain on the enemy. But yeah, we've seen Mr. X not on the Mei how I would suspect it. We see him on the junk just like Busan again. And Pixelrory sticking to the Pharah. They seem that this was working for them.
Definitely.
So they're gonna try to stick to it.
That Pharah's going to help out a lot against that Junkrat, especially coming out of Mr. X. But Mr. X finding the first pick anyways onto J Caesar, but the trade is there. Waifu falling as well. Both main tanks now missing from the fight, but the respawn is slightly closer for the side of Renai Crew here on the attack. Looks like Pixelrory's going to want to do a bit of extra spam damage here. Don't know where my camera just went. Getting a bit more spam damage here. Looking to just try to build up that ult charge. Only on 30% so far, which is probably not as high as he would have liked.
Yeah, Waifu coming back now, pushing onto the point here. ReVamp trying to contest, not giving up the first tick. And barrier down actually on side of
J Caesar.
Renai Crew, and yeah, he's falling. So that's a nice push for them now.
Mustache getting these frags though, finds 2. Obviously very, very high charge, looking for more. Trying to find Sleepy, that Mercy. Just barely able to get out of that range of the Zarya. Able to survive for now. Hyper Lazy though is not in the same boat. Able to get taken out. Was caught behind enemy lines, and Waifu finds the pick. Looks like the regroup's coming out from both sides now as JCs are looking to want to push back in again. Kind of just standing at choke right now. Pixel Rory trying to fly over the top. Trying to look for some spam damage. Waiting for their Zarya to come back in. Before pushing in hard. We do see Hyper Lazy as well switching over onto that Zarya. As now the rounds coming onto each other. The first kill coming out, Mr. X falling to Pixel Rory, and the barrage coming out next, as well as the High Noon. The barrage does find a kill. High Noon does not. Waifu though does fall to Jay Caesar as well. Now Flappy just trying to contest the point. Does dodge the flashbang and doing a lot of fancy footwork there. Almost able to live even with 3 people shooting at him. A pretty quick team fight for Renai crew, but almost too many ults used, and they're not even keeping point anymore.
Yeah, it was a nice shuffle there in the turn from Flappy, dodging a lot of stuff, and yeah, but not gonna stop them from capping the point here. So Renai looking to get their first card progress done. Waifu here pushing aggressively into JC though, forcing him to lose a lot of shield here, and the tire from Mr. X is coming in.
Coming in from the high ground, but unfortunately gets taken out by Benton on that McCree, and now the window as well coming out from SHG fan. Nice rotation though out of the side of ReVamp here to just flank around to the side, avoid that window, and invest their own ultimates here, pulling the side of Renai crew around the corner a little bit with the Graviton Surge as well as the window. Does find a few picks for themselves, but it's very, very scrappy here. Both sides losing a lot of team members. As now Hyper Lazy looking for as many kills as possible, ignores the killing that lamp just to keep shooting at that Lucio. Does get taken out eventually, but does find the Lucio before he falls. And now Maywall as well keeps Flappy trapped, but he does find a pick onto Sleepy somehow, just going for that pin. Didn't want to fall without taking someone with him. He does just that. He takes Sleepy as Mr. X falls alongside him as well. Some interesting fights here, Raptor.
Yeah, definitely, and sometimes a bit scrappy, like for example, Waifu, like you said, just getting 2 kills there, even though they're just 2 and walled off. Yeah, doesn't change anything in the end now, because the spawns for Renai were good enough, but...
I mean, it changes ult charge. I mean, look at that, Waifu already has his ult back up again as well. Flappy having his as well, the beat drop. Probably going to come out here, as the Graviton Surge does come through from Hyper Lazy. A nice bubble from... Hyper Lazy as well to block that shatter coming out of Waifu, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough as the damage is there from the side of ReVamp to just keep pressing W really, really hard here, and they're just rolling right over Renai crew.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm a fan of that High Noon from Benton. Sure, High Noon is not that big of an ultimate, you could say, but still, I don't think it was a necessary investment at this point. Mustache is a bit forward now, but knows he has cover from his Reinhardt, and now Renai needs to think of something. They still have the Mei also, probably with a good wall that can carry a team fight with just that ult alone.
Looks like Benton agreed with you as well, switching off that McCree and onto the Ashe instead, maybe more valuable ult, but unfortunately able to get picked off by Flappy with the long range Lucio. As the tire is coming in as well from Mr. X, looking to flank all the way around, and does find Sleepy as well in the back line. As now both rounds just pinning around the place. Looks like Waifu has the Immortality Field to stay alive after getting pinned by Jay Caesar. Is able to find the kill as well, thanks to Mustache and Bear Kank as well, finding Hyper Lazy, and now we just see ReVamp spawn camping.
Yeah, that was a change of pace here, I would say. Going from getting pushed pretty hard to pushing the enemy back into the spawn. Now with a nice rotation, I like the positioning there. Pretty aggressive, but pretty nice. The graph coming in early.
A nice shot coming out of Jay Caesar, but it's not going to be enough, especially with that window there on the side of ReVamp. But the Blizzard does still freeze quite a lot of people, but unfortunately there's no follow-up, as now Waifu once again pressing that shift key, charging in, trying to find a pick at that choke. Unfortunately not able to find anybody. As now Jay Caesar looking to want to push back in again, but his shield is low. Definitely at least below half HP, as we did see the cracks in it as he put it up. Now though they are deciding to push in, he has his Zarya with him this time, the nice Maywall as well, separates the tanks away from the team. The Shatter getting blocked, I believe by Hyper Lazy there, not even by Jay Caesar, who's close to blocking it. Hyper Lazy finding those kills, very, very high charge here, does find 2. Jay Caesar as well, finally cleaning up Mustache. And Hyper Lazy not only blocking the Shatter, but also finding 4 kills for himself in that fight.
And I really like the beat usage here. They know they didn't have grab, there's nothing else that they can really beat, so they just say, okay, we're gonna go aggressively with beat, we're gonna wall part of the team off, use the speed boost with the beat to push on their tanks and
pushing the high ground here. He was able to hide behind enemy lines as the Graviton Surge comes out in the front lines from the side of ReVamp or Renai, I believe. The kills are all there, coming Red in the kill feed. It looks like Bearcank just trying to stall point as that Baptiste trying to do a bit of damage, but not going to live for very long. Pixel Rory just spraying all over the point. Benton chucks his Bob right off the map as Hyper Lazy and Pixel Rory do push forward. A very clean fight for Renai crew there.
Yeah, and also some late picks here. That's pretty nice. Both DPS from ReVamp falling. That means a bit more time for them to regroup and a bit more card progress for Renai for free. So yeah, we got almost the high noon ready and the Tire. Tire can carry fights. We have seen that. And also both support, also ReVamp in a good position here to take home the next team fight.
Looks like that Junker wanted to try to get behind enemy lines, but is spotted by Hyper Lazy. Does find the kill onto Sleepy anyways, before getting taken out by Benton on the high ground with that Ashe. Benton finding another pick for himself onto Bearcank, but the cut and Waifu just not going down that easy, as they do find 2 kills, and we're able to Waifu somehow with the flank finds a few kills for himself. I don't know how he got back there.
And there was a big investment from both sides. First, the Blizzard not finding anybody, to be honest, and Flappy still using the beat to counter it. Yeah, both ults are going to be lacking in the next fight, so let's see what they can make of it.
No beat for the grabs on Surge though out of Imosash here, which is probably going to come out pretty early. Yes, it does. Both tanks here looking to play very, very aggressive. Nice mortality field there to keep the side of Renai crew alive, but once again, it's not going to be enough. The Shatter is there, fall up here after the grab, as well as that window being up. Does provide that little bit of extra damage, and looks like once again we do see that Reinhardt pushing up, licking that spawn door, and once again ReVamp trying to spawn camp.
Yeah, and they brought the time bank down to 30 seconds, so one more fight they have to win. They're gonna have to fight against a lot of ults though, almost 6 if Renai manages to build them up. The early window here with the wall puts a lot of pressure on Waifu, but the Tire distracts them.
The Shatter coming out from JC0, unfortunately blocked by Waifu, who's hard shielding right there, as the cut finds a pick for himself as well. They're ignoring this Junker in their backline though, as Mr. X looking for some extra picks. Unfortunately not quite able to find Benton, but the kills are coming through from the cut instead. Finds 3 for himself, Waifu as well finding 1. This Bob just contesting the point with SHG fan just pocketing it before the cut takes him out as well. Mr. X on the backline there with the Junkrat. Not able to find as much value as I expected, to be honest. The cut instead on that McCree, able to find, I think, 5 kills for himself overall.
Yeah, solid showing here from the cut. A lot of final blows here for him. And you gotta say, Mr. X really got ignored there on the Junkrat in the backline. Being able to put constant pressure on Benton and on SHG fans, so Baptiste and Ashe, both two, yeah, let's say, not the most mobile characters, so they were a lot under pressure. And ultimately, he even was able to take out the Ashe. And yeah. Solid hold here from ReVamp, but it's still a nice push from Renai crew. So this map pretty balanced so far, I would say. And at least we haven't seen a single time, like, let's say overtime. So not overtime, but no team pushing through and the other team pushing through as well. So this possibility is also taken from this map. So let's see. We've got to probably save that for 2 CP. I mean 8 CP.
I mean, we'll never know how many points you're going to come across. But so far, definitely a very, very close game. Some extremely scrappy fights here and there coming out from both sides, to be honest. But with that said, at the same time, there have been some moments of glory with certain players just able to absolutely dominate team fights. We saw coming out of Mr. X with a couple of tires, especially on Busan. You know, and Pixel Rory as well with a barrage. Some nice ult combos and some really scrappy fights.
Yeah, overall, both teams seem to have found their own kind of style with Mr. X on the Junkrat and Pixel Warrior on the Pharah. 2 spam characters, but 2 very different ones, you could say.
Looks like the side of ReVamp did predict the Pharah pick coming out from Pixel Rory, as they do decide to rotate a bit of a safer direction away from that Pharah spam, who isn't able to find very much value. Now they're pushing in very, very aggressively here, looking for that Reinhardt. Looks like they're going to be able to, actually, not going to be able to find it, as Waifu falls first, Bearcank falling straight away after. I don't know how the hell JCs are still alive right now. As you do see, the cut does find 2 picks as well, the cut being ignored, as well as Mr. X being ignored on the high ground. This is one of the most scrappy fights I've ever seen. Mr. X trying to get away with his life, and the recontest is coming through as well, really, really early straight from spawn. As Waifu gets back here, looking for another pin, does find JC this time, who might fall. No, the Immortality Field is going to be there as well to keep him up. Mr. X having to come back in as the Junker find the final blow. I don't think I've seen a fight this bizarre so far in this league. I don't know what to even say about it.
Yeah, it was definitely some solo action again, and yeah, nice pin there from Waifu. I usually know that the Waifu gets pinned against the wall, so yeah. Well done here, and they got the first point pretty early. Have 5 minutes now on the
Mr. X
clock
as
to
well
get
with an
the
early
second
pick
point.
onto Benton. Long range spam out of that Junkrat, who's somehow uncontested even though there's an Ash and a Fire on the enemy side. As we do see now, Waifu pushing forward, has that Shatter. Unfortunately can't quite find anyone as JCzer finds a Fire Strike onto iMustache. But Waifu once again with one of these flank charges, which lost a game for them, I believe, last week on the same map. Not able to find a pin, but Mr. X it says, whatever, Waifu, keep playing aggressive. I'm gonna just cover you with these tires. Finds Pixel Rory as well as that Mortality Field falling down. The cut finds the pick with that High Noon onto Hyper Lazy while that Gravitic Flux is in action. Waifu again with that charge key. Doesn't quite find a kill. A nice flashbang there from the cut as well. Keeps that Lucio alive. JC's are unfortunately not able to find that kill. As now the cut pushes forward again. These DPS players on the side of ReVamp are absolutely carrying right now.
Yeah, insane performance here from the cut, showing up in the kill feed again and again. If you want to have some stats, he actually has 15 final blows, which is the most in game right now. And yeah, also solid damage numbers, having the highest also in game. So really, really good performance for him. And now a nice window here from Barrett Crank, keeping the enemies away from the point for now.
But a huge shatter coming out of Jay Caesar. The shield was broken by the cut, but the shatter comes out, and the follow-up as well from Hyper Lazy and Benton does find both the tanks on the side of of ReVamp here as Pixel Rory cleans up the DPS as well. Finally, Renai crew winning a fight.
Yeah, and that was actually a really nice shatter here. Waifu has been dominating that street phase so far, but with that shatter, JC made a lot of ground.
Listen, I wouldn't say Waifu's been dominating the street phase. I think Mr. X and the cut have been dominating the streets phase. Honestly, if I was to say whichever main tech would be better, I'd say JC's are currently outperforming Waifu, but Waifu just able to play so aggressive that he's able to find these kills anyway. And now the barrage does come out, finds Mr. X. The Grafton Surge out of iMustache unfortunately does find a couple of people, but there's no follow-up. As now the spawn camp is coming from the other side. JC's are pushing Waifu back into his spawn.
That's pretty true, by the way, what you said. Waifu, a lot of the aggression is being made possible by his DPS, by the pressure they put in with the Junkrat spam, with the deadly accuracy from the cut. So yeah, the next shatter though, finding Barrett Kank, that's pretty good, and he's down. Main support out of the fight.
Surge is the big thing here with Hyper Lazy finding 3 Pixel Rory as well, following up on that. iMustache somehow able to find the final blow on himself, as Mr. X looks like he might just be able to get back into spawn without Pixel Rory finding that final blow. Once again, it looks like actually Hyper Lazy able to kill himself, which means now Renai crew are going to have to fall back, play this a little bit more passive, wait for the Zara to get back. But I don't know if Waifu's going to allow that. Mr. X once again with these snipe rat. What is going on? This time finds the Baptiste. Now there's down 2 on the side of and also finds Benton on the Ash. What is this man? Sniping with Junkrat. I've never heard of it before, but here we are. As now the Ryans start charging each other in the corners as well. Hyper Lazy finding the final blow onto Waifu, but the tire is available for Mr. X. He's probably going to use it right here. Going onto the high ground. The cut though uses that High Noon, shuts down Pixel Rory right after he rockets up into the air. The Immortality Field from both sides kind of unnecessarily being used, as we do see Hyper Lazy once again taking himself out on the point, just dying on point, trying to stall for a little bit longer. 3 minutes though still left on the clock for the side of ReVamp here.
And I swear, Mr. X has just 1% more accuracy. Pixel Rory should be really scared.
I mean, somehow this Junkrat is out-sniping an Ash as well as a Baptiste. I mean, how is he not getting more contested when there's a Farah and an Ash on the other side? And here comes the tire. Pixel Rory finally able to take that out as well. And force Mr. X off the high ground. There's another Grafton Surge. It's absolutely massive coming out from the side of ReVamp. But the barrage is there to clean up as well as that shatter, denying any follow-up. The cut does find 1 kill now. Mr. X finds another. Pixel Rory though did find a kill onto iMustache as well. And as well as Benton finding the cut. But it looks like that Zarya Hyper Lazy does get taken out by Waifu as well, staying in that little room for a little bit too long against a Reinhardt. But Bob able to clean up as well. Benton finally getting his footing and finding a few picks for himself.
Yeah, Benton finally getting his cut in kills.
God damn it!
Yeah, but
he dynamites himself. What is going on? Okay.
I think he's typing. Looks
like he is.
please. Give me some
We
VM.
do see now, though, the push coming through
Oh,
quite
no.
aggressively. Waifu looking for a flank, and the charge comes through once again. The Immortality Field denying any follow-up from that Graviton Surge from Hyper Lazy as well. JCs are finding the pick onto IMO Session, going for the Shatter. Not able to find anybody,
Ooh,
unfortunately.
big.
Mr. X, though, finding Hyper Lazy. JCs are now with the pin. Does find Flappy as well as the High Noon finding Sleepy. Neither team have a Lucio, but Waifu taking out JCs means there's no tanks on the side of Renai crew either. As we see Pix and Rory just stalling point with that May for so long. The cut finally getting that kill, and now Benton being pressured as well by Mr. X does fall, and finally this map does end. ReVamp taking the win. This is the most bizarre Kingsrow I've ever witnessed.
Definitely, there was a lot of dynamic in this match. You could say that. Let's say it all professional. There was a lot of dynamic in the match, going from the one spawn to the other spawn, and from one graph to the other. And yeah, we see once again the nice offensive hold here from Renai crew. It was not enough in the end. Mr. X and the cut had a really nice showing here. Definitely did their a big part in the win here for ReVamp. And now it's 2-1, and we go to map number 4.
And we will do that in just a minute, but I don't know about you, Raptor, but I am completely out of water. I need to take probably like a 5-minute break, set myself down, restock my drinks, and get things underway again shortly. But I do think for now, we'll just take a quick 5-minute break and see you guys back in a few minutes. And we're back once again. Drinks refilled. I hope the players had a chance to go to the bathroom or get a drink of their own, whatever they needed to do. As we will be going back into the game here. Looks like we're going on to Volskaya. Once again, another side swap with Renai crew on the going down the left on the blue side and Revamp on attack in the red.
Yeah, and generally I've been a bit confused because usually you want to defend first. It has some advantages basically to defend first. I don't want to get into it, but both teams here always choosing the attack is a bit something new for me. Yeah, but seems to be working for the team so far. So let's see what strats they have prepared to for Volskaya. Um, Again, I don't think there's like one really dominant team comp. There's some variation at least possible.
Yeah, I mean we can see a lot of like Echo or Farah, but at the same time we can see a lot of hit scans. It's depending on what the teams themselves prefer to play. As
Yeah.
we do start to see now on the defensive side, a Wrecking Ball Zarya comp with the aforementioned Farah as well, Sleepy on the Mercy Benton on the Ashe, and SHG fan on that Anna. An interesting comp to say the least with that Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, and Mr. X again on the counter pick for the Pharah with his
Yep.
Junkrat. And
Sniper out, you mean?
yeah, yeah. So I'm hyped to see if they can keep up with this performance on the side of ReVamp here with their DPS. On the other hand, again with the ball, JC, is he gonna be able to get these nice boots in again as he did on Root?
Oh.
We will see now when the doors finally open and everybody gets released into the cold from the warm inside. And yeah.
You see Pixelroy using that rocket to get a little bit more elevation for himself. He's got a lot of spam damage in it already. Finds Flappy Mr. X as well, falling to Benton. And now the Immortality Field getting taken out as well by Pixelroy. He falls very, very low. The cut almost being able to take him out. But the healing is there from the side of Renai crew. As SSG fan also finds a pick onto the cut. Who would have thunk? Had a bit of a roly-poly there.
Well, yeah, but the instant swaps coming in from ReVamp, and I said that before, ReVamp doing nice adaptions. And yeah, let's see if they can force their way in now with yeah, Mr. X, not on the sniper but on the Echo. I'm already spamming the SHG fan in the backline. Nice dive here on the middle high ground, forcing the ball to go in deep.
Jay sees it though, I think a little bit of bubble misplacement as his bubble fell onto the low ground, not able to help him at all, forcing him out as well. Pixelroy finds the first pick though onto Flappy, who got caught out trying to pocket the Anna for some reason, not flying with that Echo in the backline. Benton as well, finds the pick onto Mr. X, of course, the Mercy isn't there to keep him alive, as now we do see as well, I'm just burning, uses that bubble to put out those flames, but Benton finds a pick onto Barrett Kank instead. As I believe we're going to see Pixelroy here pushing that Zarya, looking for that kill, falling very, very low, has a personal bubble, and actually somehow survives.
Whew, that was quite close. Pixelroy already got the barrage also ready for the next fight, so yeah. On the side of ReVamp, the ult economy looks, yeah, not so good, you could say. Biggest ult charge is the Mercy with nearly 75%. Pixelroy now
Barrage finds two. He's going to look for more. He's going to push into that room with his Wrecking Ball, but big mistake. Mustache is there with a really, really high charge. The cut as well going for the flank. Another Resurrect is coming through as well for Barrett Kank, actually. But while that's in progress, SHG fan getting res as well by Sleepy on the other side. But that means there's no heals for Mustache. He pushed in aggressively and got taken out as well. Got a lot of pressure put on him. And unfortunately, not able to find anything as now there's 4 ultimates, almost 5 on the side of Renai crew here, with ReVamp lagging behind a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. X and Flappy switching again, resetting their ult charges means they're potentially not gonna get an ult advantage, even though it was a bigger commitment last fight from Renai crew.
The cut there getting blown up very, very early. Pixelroy actually finding 3, both supports falling as well. And that's all off the back of Mustache falling very, very low to Benton. The call-out's being made, and Pixelroy, knowing he can push in super, super aggressive, finds 4 for himself as well. Benton finding 1 as well. Some nice comms there from the side of Renai crew. And what is his position actually out of this Anna? SHG fan. Gonna get spotted by that Sombra, probably.
No, actually not. He's tunnel vision, Mr. X. Actually not seeing the Anna. Kind of interesting.
The direct right click as well out of Hyper Lazy. shuts down the fire, or that Sombra forces him all the way out as well. Instant translocator,
Ooh.
another graviton surge, and the anti-nade as well being absolutely massive. The barrages, or the rockets as well for the follow-up, and that's why that Ana was hiding there, looking for that early anti-nade onto that graviton surge. But now the cut and SHG fan both falling, only one can be resurrected. So it looks like if a very quick push does come out from the side of ReVamp here, they might just be able to take this first point.
I don't know actually. They still have the nano boost ready, also almost the barrage and the minefield. And the last fight was actually a bit scrappy again. There were like two battlefields, waifu with the nano on point, fighting the Mercy, the Bob, and the Ash, and then there were other fight.
TP coming in here though. TP in from Mr. X
only
finds. Yeah, I think I actually found J Caesar as well. I'm not entirely sure, but doesn't find any significant values. Pixel Rory does. Finds two, finds that Ana as well as that Winston. But the Graviton Surge coming out from Imos actually kills himself once again. Not going to be able to touch the point for much longer. And Benton finding those cleanup kills as well. Finds Mr. X. Flappy falling as well on the point. The mines as well. Stopping from any proper contesting in the first place. And that's a full hold.
Yeah, really well done here from Renai crew. Pretty solid performance as well from Pixel Rory this time.
And also,
yeah.
that just guaranteed that we'll be going on to another map as well, as ReVamp can no longer win this map. It's either going to be a draw or Renai crew taking the win, which will bring it to 2-2. And that means we will be going to Nepal next, I guess.
Yeah.
What a game. What a game.
I mean, I think map 5 is the best thing that can happen here because it really reflects what has been happening here. It's a pretty well balanced and I even gotta say.
Oof. Sorry, I just saw the comp from ReVamp.
Yeah, me too. And if they're gonna stick to it, they're gonna have my respect because I like such cheesy comps.
They lose almost all of my respect. But if Renai are able to break that defense and cap the point, even just that one tick, they have earned a lot of respect out of me. This comp from ReVamp is cheesy. Let's say cheesy. I don't want to be too mean because we're on stream, but let's just say cheesy.
Who needs you? Who needs your respect if they can have mine?
Wow.
Yeah.
We are seeing a pause here. It looks like I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Fire alert from the cut. Dude, I know the feeling. I've been living in like a big living complex only for students, and there were like 200 small apartments, and if in one somebody burnt their fucking chicken wings.
Or their toast.
Yeah, the whole building has to be evacuated. Yeah, I lost so many SR because of that. Because people can't cook apparently.
The one time I was at a friend's house and the fire alarm went off. We were in a comp game. And we decided, fuck it, we're just going to stay in this comp game. And we didn't go out with the fire alarm until twice some of the staff members had to come up and get us. We almost had to get physically dragged out of the room. Some very interesting times. But yeah, definitely a very interesting comp as well coming out from this ReVamp side. Looking to just teleport over and back across the two high grounds on this defensive side with the Bastion, Orisa, Sigma, Baptiste, and Mercy. This is going to be a very, very tough comp to break, but it's all going to be on the back of J Caesar and Pixel Rory. If they can boop even one or two of these team members from ReVamp off the high ground and get that disruption, it's going to be really, really difficult for the side of ReVamp to recontest and to reorganize themselves in a way that they can actually get back in the fight. So, once again, J Caesar and Pixel Rory have this map on their backs.
Yeah, I think against such compositions, it's always on the tanks, such cheese compositions, because it's so important to take the space and to give your DPS the space to work with it. But I think also with the Pharah, they're pretty well set up here on the attack.
It's like already making use of that teleporter, getting away from that wrecking ball. Who took the high ground to try and knock people off, but instead gets absolutely shredded. This boosted Bastion gonna be able to find the kill. Now the fire spam as well is coming through, but just hitting one of those two shields on the side of ReVamp as well. The teleporter coming through, Sleepy falling very, very low, and now Pixel Rory as well. It's gonna be really, really difficult. The side of Renai crew, not quite sure what to do. They do you see Pixel Rory?
They're split now.
Or not Pixel Rory. JCs are able to find that boot. Pixel Rory able to find those kills. JCs are finding another kill here onto iMustache. And as I said, once that comp is split apart, it's going to be very, very easy to slowly whittle down, as the recontests are not going to be there, the regrouping isn't going to be there, and that's the tick, that's the map. Renai crew taking this one, and looks like we're going to be going on to a map number 5.
I, I
It's
don't know if you
2-2.
saw that, but the cut actually just jumped on point, setting up in 5 people as Bastion still getting a kill. But yeah, that was actually Pixel Rory spamming the TP and ReVamp not going through at the same time. They just let themselves get split off.
A hacked grounded Pharah as player of the game. Who would have thunk?
Yeah, but did you see, by the way, in the overlay, in the Overwatch overlay, that the Pharaoh was not shown as hacked?
I saw. Oh, wasn't that?
No,
Huh.
it was the Ash. Thank you, Jeff. Oh no, I'm kidding. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, but anyways, yeah, that was actually pretty well interrupted. Just as 2 of the members had gone through the TP, Pixelrory managed to destroy it, so they were split, and there was no way for them to keep staying in the fight.
And the follow-up boop as well from JC's knocking those tanks off the high ground, and the Anna was there as well. SHG fan able to take that high ground for himself and take a very comfortable position, able to heal up his team. As I said, once you break down that comp even a little bit, it can't really rebuild itself, and that's how you beat a comp like that. Is just play it slow, take your time, slowly pick it apart, and once you have one person out of position, it's easy to steamroll.
Yeah. Wait, is it gets ReVamp to choose the map?
No, because this is map number 5. It's a tiebreaker, and that is preset as Nepal for this week.
Okay.
I believe it's Nepal. Let me double check that really, really quickly. Sorry, no, it is Ilios.
No.
It's Ilios. My bad.
Oh yeah.
Nepal last
Okay,
week.
good.
Good thing I double checked.
Yes, yes. I do be liking Ilios though. It's a bit brighter of a map, and
Personally,
especially.
it's my least favorite control map.
Oh, why that?
Yeah, maybe because I'm a main tank and main tank struggle a lot on that map, apart from like Orisa and Well, or I
I
guess
was about to say.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
just don't, and I don't like playing Orisa in the first place. She's my least favorite character in the entire game, despite being a main tank player. Um, so yeah, personally not a favorite of mine, but definitely a favorite of a lot of people, and probably a few people in this lobby, such as like Pixel Rory with that Pharah as well, as we've seen it for the last few games, can be very, very strong on this map. So I'm quite interested to see what these teams run.
yeah, we have the ready from ReVamp. We're just waiting for Renai crew to also ready up, and then we can start moving on to Ilios, and maybe we're gonna see some Widow if we're
Ooh.
going on Ruins.
Hmm.
Would be actually pretty nice. Me
Yeah.
as a Widow Wayne likes to see Widow, even though I really haven't played her much in
I
recent
mean,
months in scrims. I don't
I
know, she's
enjoy
just
playing
so
Widow.
squishy.
I enjoy watching Widow play. I wouldn't call myself a good Widow. I can't, for some reason, people's heads just don't go on my crosshair. Don't know why. Um, but yeah, definitely would love to see it here, especially as you say on Ruins, if that map comes up, because this could be once again another situation like on Busan where ReVamp just takes control of the entire game.
That could be. So let's see, but I think everything is open here. Like I said, control is a really weird kind of map type, so Revamp being dominant is not guaranteed here. And Renai Crew, I think, over the course of this series, has become stronger and stronger from map to map. I mean,
Definitely.
they lost Kingsrow, but still was quite nice. They're quite nicely played, and actually, if I think about it, so far both teams won their map choices. So
Yeah,
gotta
which is
say, shout out to coaching.
yeah, shout out to coaching, shout out to just organizing your maps, getting to know what comps to run and running them well. Um, and also shout out to Mr. X sniping and Ash's Junkrat consistently. Um, looks like once again this Ball Zarya comp, at least coming out of Renai crew with ReVamp choosing that double bubble, as I said, which they have been performing quite well on, mostly so far. Pixel Rory already under a little bit of pressure from that echo, but both sides have the mercy to keep each other alive as well. Looks like Pixel Rory wants to get that spam, wants to take that echo out actually, as
Ooh.
the dive coming across from Waifu, not able to quite find the pick onto Benton, but does force him away from the high ground. As so far, just a lot of poke, no real damage coming through from either side here.
And nobody in point control. The fight is like taking away from the point. Now Barrett Kank taking the point and getting the first capture secured for his team. And this is going to be a good spot for ReVamp now to hold this, because they can play more passive now and wait for them to actually use cooldowns to approach them. Now the ball is deep, is getting focused a bit, but no problems whatsoever getting out. No ult so far ready.
Finally, a first pick coming through. Hyper Lazy finding Mr. X and Flappy falling as well. Went for that Resurrect, but it's not going to be able to find the Pixel Rory now. Pushing that Winston as well. Trying to get him off the high ground. Falls low himself, but the pick does come through. Hyper Lazy finishing that off. J Caesar as well finding two after going for that flank into the enemy backline as the cut falls now as well. A very, very slow start there. 28% on the side of ReVamp completely for free, but the point does turn back over. Renai crew playing it slow and winning the team fight before taking point.
Yeah, and I think it was actually not a good idea to chase out the ball a bit there on the right side, because they just left Benetton and the rest of the Renai crew the high ground for free.
Barrage
and now
comes through. Pixel Rory finds two. First finding Mr. X and then popping the barrage, finding the cut as well on the Tracy. That's no DPS. So now the main source of damage is going to be that nano boosted monkey and Waifu. Not quite able to find a kill. iMustache does fall to does find SHG fan, but the resurrect is there. As Benton also finds Waifu over on the side, who got a little bit cut out of position. And once again, pretty clean fight and a pretty easy fight for Renai crew here.
Yeah, very well done here. Already at 40% now, and keep on stacking these percentages. They're also gonna have 3 ults at least ready for the next fight, which is pretty good. Pixel Rory again with the early.
We saw him there a second ago, getting sniped by Pixel Rory. Unfortunately, he can get healed up all the way before trying to get back into the fight. Push up that staircase and gets taken out by Pixel Rory with another direct rocket. J Caesar finds two as well, as Mr. X and Flappy just resetting themselves, jumping off the map to prevent any more ult charge. But no ultimates used, I don't think, from either side there. But we do see a massive team change up here on the side of ReVamp. A lot of ultimates lost.
Yeah, but they also needed to swap something. It was just not working. So we now have the D.Va actually. I think it's meant for a clutch play to maybe get the Hyper Lazy gets it up.
Pixel Rory getting that nano boost and is able to one-tap Mr. X out of the sky with a lovely direct long-ranged rocket. Very well played there. The cut though finds a kill as well onto SHG fan. As now Pixel Rory under a lot of pressure. That D.Va's chasing him all over the place. iMustache falls very, very low, but so does Pixel Rory. And now the barrage is going to come out with that Graviton Surge. Does find one, but Pixel Rory's going to get picked out of that after that, as iMustache does find the kill. But the mines are there on the point for the side of ReVamp, or Renai crew, I mean, as Flappy does fall, as well as iMustache to those minefields, as SHG fan takes out that copy from Mr. X, as well as taking out Mr. X himself. It's just the cut trying to contest the point here. Just toggling those touches over and back. As now this team is trying to recontest it, but this is a bit of a... I don't know if this is going to work out for ReVamp here, as the Bob as well on the point for the side of Renai crew, and the blue and the kill feed just dominating there. And this is sort of the opposite of what we saw in Busan, where we saw Renai crew captured very, very early before getting overrun by the side of ReVamp, and ReVamp holding onto the point. And this is, as I said, the exact opposite, with ReVamp capping first, but once Renai got the capture, we're able to hold on to it.
Yeah, that was really well done, and I like that they're sticking kind of to their team comp now. I said they're gonna need to make some adaptations, but as long as it's working, it's quite fine, and they seem to be really able to take advantage of Pixel Rory performing on the Pharah. And it seems like ReVamp still tries to do some adaptations, but they don't find the right recipe. So let's see what they're doing now. Actually, now they have the Hanzo. That's an interesting change. The cut again on the McCree, maybe be able to contest Pixel Rory here a bit more. And yeah, actually, Reinhardt this time again from Waifu. So really two different styles clashing here.
Reinhardt,
let's see who's going to come up.
This is one of the better tanks for this map, but I do think Winston is slightly better. As well as that anti-nade being absolutely massive, finding both the tanks on the side of ReVamp there. Hyper Lazy dying first though on the side of Renai crew, but the cut falling shortly after. The Resurrect is there as well onto Hyper Lazy, but Mr. X finding Benton with a headshot. As I said, J Caesar able to find Waifu, using those high grounds to his advantage, able to find the pick onto that Reinhardt, but a nice flight out of iMustache does find the kill onto Pixel Rory, and a nice follow-up as well. Mr. X finding the headshot as that Hanzo shutting down Sleepy. No more Resurrects available, and once again an early capture coming through from the side of ReVamp.
Yeah, this time they're just gonna hold on to the point. The Reinhardt is back now. Waifu with a late charge. Gonna not have that for the beginning of the next fight. And he's really, really alone right there right now. Now his support's pushing up to him. But he's getting antied, and there is no bubble for him right
That
now.
Baptiste doing a good
Get
job
the
getting that
anti-rid of
Mortality field out once that anti came through as well. Jumping up and down, using the cover of the point, and using the boots from the Baptiste to play that quite well around the cover. But Benton shuts him down anyway, finds the pick, but Mr. X in the cut cleaning up as well, finds both tanks on the side of ReVamp here, or Renai Crew here. As we do see Benton pushing back in again, looking for the cut after they're getting resurrected. The Primal Rage is there, will eventually find the kill as the Nano Boost as well comes through onto Pixel Rory here, looking for the barrage probably. The D-Mech onto D.Va comes first though, as nice Primal comes out of Imustache juggling that Baby D.Va around place. Unfortunately not able to find the kill as Pixel Rory does eventually pick it up, as well as Waifu falling on point to Pixel Rory's rockets as well. Very, very split comp here as we do see ReVamp just stalling for a little bit more percentage. Probably want to try force it to as high as I can, but the fight has been lost and the point does eventually turn to Renai Crew.
That was a pretty good hold so far. They got 70%, and they didn't use any ult last fight. Also, can you highlight that? On the other side, it's gonna be a lot of ult thrown into the next fight because basically Renekton can't afford to lose the next fight. The graph is coming in, the barrage following up.
The beat is good, keeps most people alive. Waifu unfortunately not able to stay alive for too long, but the counter pick does come out. Pixel Rory does get taken out as well. The Resurrect is there, however, as now Pixel Rory's back up in the fight and he's looking for Barrett. Can find the kill as well mid-air onto that that jumping Baptiste as well. As now Pixel Rory not done once more. The cut though shuts him down as the Mercy forces to fall out.
Over D.Va Bomb finds nothing, but here on the side, Hyper Lazy out of position a bit, has no bubble currently. That's the time to push him. Nice stun there and the right click for the follow-up. Mercy getting the Mega here, trying to stay alive, but still gets taken out. Benton's Bob is doing some work, and the Nano Winston is also around in the background. Benton with another headshot, finishing off the cut, and they might be able to stay in control of the point here. Even though losing 3 to 4 players, they still managed to stay in control. Well done. Mr. X, though, with the late pick, giving ReVamp a good chance to re-engage the next fight.
Pixel Rory, they're doing a nice job of cleaning up a few extra kills as well for his side, but both sides losing a lot of team members and a lot of ultimates as well in that last fight. As you said, it was a very ult heavy fight, but still a few available, especially on the side of ReVamp here, who are pushing in very aggressive. The shadow does come out early, blocked though by the bubbles from Hyper Lazy as the kills do come through. Benton finds the first pick before getting killed himself by that D.Va, but the Resurrect is there from Sleepy. Imustache now under a little bit of pressure here. Waifu forced to push forward a little bit further to get him out of the fight, but still the D-Mech is there, as well as the barrage coming out now from Pixel Rory. Does find the extra kills here. Bert Kank using that ultimate, but taken out instantly from it, as well as Imustache finding that barrage, and SHG found finally pick onto Flappy, as well as J Caesar finding the late pick onto Mr. X as well. 88% on the clock here, as it's going to be very tough for ReVamp to retake this.
Yeah, Waifu has no primal rage ready. It has to be Imustache. I think he's touching it. No, he's gonna be able to touch here. Both Lucia and Monkey go in early. Waifu now here in the backline under heavy pressure, gets taken out on the other side. Though, yeah, Sleepy
Waifu,
taken out of the fight.
He did get taken out, but he did find the pick onto Mercy as well, which is going to be absolutely massive for his team, who are able to retake this point and actually push forward here. Hyper Lazy falling as well. As well as Benton now getting picked by Flappy, and it's going to be really difficult. As I said, once again, 90% on the clock for the other side this time. ReVamp might actually be able to take this Ruin map for themselves. Although JCs are almost going to be able at the point here, going to be able to touch and force that overtime, but he is alone. His team are trying to follow up here. Long-range rockets coming in from Pixel Rory, not quite able to find the kills. As now the Graviton Surge does come out from Hyper Lazy, which might be exactly what they needed. They do find Waifu, but Pixel Rory once again getting picked off very early. Hyper Lazy though finds 2. Benton as well with the Bob, finds a pick as well as Sleepy cleaning up as well here. Hyper Lazy looking for that last kill. Mr. X does fall, and it looks like this map is going to go to Renai Crew, who are going to pull away the overall victory.
And this comes a bit too as a surprise if you have only seen the first map, because ReVamp was really dominating there. But ever since then, that has been a pretty balanced match and a pretty good one as well. There were some scrappy fights, but overall, I would say that was a really nice match. And both teams had their moments to shine. Especially the DPS have been playing really well on both sides, be it Pixel Rory on that Pharah being dominating, or Mr. X and the cut on the side of ReVamp, also with solid performances. So I would say overall a pretty nice match, and yeah, I'm happy that I was able to cast this today.
I mean, we have seen a six map match before, but I would argue that this one was even closer than that. Um, ReVamp once again being our our team that goes for these long matches. Week 1 going for 6, and now in week 4 going for 5 maps as well. Unfortunately, neither time being able to come out on top. But Renai crew looking really, really strong today. Of course, as we said a few times, a very messy fight from both sides a few times, very slappy fights. But at the same time, as you say, these DPS from both sides, Pixel Rory, especially on Renai crew, as well as Mr. X and the Cut, kind of putting their teams on their backs for the most part, and playing incredibly well.
Yeah, I gotta agree, but I think everybody had their shining moments,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and yeah,
Oh, what a
yeah,
game.
yeah. What a nice game. 5 maps. I mean, we didn't go to map 3 on Ilios, map part 3, but still 99 to 99 in the second part of the map. Close enough for me at least. And yeah, I want to say thank you to you for casting with me today,
I
for
mean,
bearing with me, for being
yeah,
with
you
my
did
first
pretty
English
well.
cast.
You did very, very well, I must say. Taking over a little bit of play-by-play as well, which was quite handy, give my voice a break for a few seconds. Um, Once again, yeah, guys, one of the closest matches in fact, I think the closest match we've had so far, and a very, very fun one to watch as well, with those crazy moments that we saw. Especially, I must say, once again, Kingsrow, Mr. X on that Junkrat. How does he do it? Um, that's all I have to say. We do have another match once again tomorrow. I believe I will be hosting once again with Kev this time, though. And it will be Crimson versus Essence, another clash of absolute titans. Both teams doing very, very well for themselves so far this league. Essence, I believe, only losing one map, only one match, I believe. Sorry, and Crimson, I don't think have lost anything because they've held 3-0 all their games. So tomorrow promises to be another uh, another long game, probably. As yeah, we'll see you then. Thank you, Raptor, for joining me, and GG's everyone.
Yeah, GG's.